Ben Crump.
Thank you so much. And thank you to President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Please give a great round of applause for him not thinking it robbery to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, Lee Merritt, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we're going to get justice for Nolan Wales. We're going to get justice for Daniel Irvin. And we're going to get justice for Tyler Smith. And a large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power.
Never.
Thank you, Mr. Morial.
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family with other great lawyers for Nolan Wales. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice. And we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight, with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. Y'all, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Irvin. Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. You know, until the lawyers get there, till the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Morial. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let them sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Wales, and you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Hertz and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wales goes with friends, celebrating 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wales tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. We also, and Attorney Hertz may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Morial with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? Yeah. We want the experts. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up. So we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wales. Attorney Hertz will also go into a little more detail, and Attorney Park, about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wales, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth, so we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned. That's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered, to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask? That's all. If it was your child, wouldn't you want the same thing? And I get it. They're attacking me. They're attacking Reverend Al. They're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no ways tied to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Irvin's family, and we can help Tyler Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. I mean, it's so important. Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Congresswoman Beatty, we thank you in the Congressional Black Caucus. Please stand and join us, Congresswoman, because you all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's important that we have the full weight and force of everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boys. Now, before I bring up the lawyers, I just want to say a word about Daniel Irvin and by his case, and you'll hear from Attorney Sean DeRea, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar in what they're saying about Nolan Wells, and that is her 18-year-old son, President Maria, Congresswoman Beatty, two young white teenagers come pick them up from their house. Lee, they go on, I guess it's an alleged fishing trip. Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowns. But his two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages between Daniel Irvin and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they go throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and for 4 days they are searching for what happened. Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they're saying, no, something happened to Daniel Irvin. We got to get to the bottom of this. Then and only then, Mark Mariel, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents, and they say, well, we were there, and they confessed that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charge and arrest them after 3 months. 3 months passed. Not until Nolan Wells started making the news did they finally come and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Irvin. They arrest them with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney DeRea is saying, what Attorney Brooke Cluse is saying is simply this: if they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things that don't add up, about the conduct of the boys immediately after the drowning, the alleged drowning. It's so critical, important that we remember Daniel Irvin as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cluse, we talk about Tyler Smith, and I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these broken-hearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Beatty. Attorney Daniels, 4th of July, same 4th of July 2026 when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July small house party. Somehow, Tyler ends up being shot in his head, dead. 911 is called. They come, the police get there. They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, this the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, when you bag his hands and when you test it for gunshot residue, but they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used to shoot himself with, the police, after they do analysis, it does not match the casings that they found on the floor to where he shot himself at. So still, they are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Miss Nisi? 7 days later, after they then say, who all was in the house? They have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate, and they go surround one of the young men's houses, Lee Merritt, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Kathleen Trigg. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or being in some way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no, he is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Nisi? Nothing more. And nobody in all three of the questionable deaths of these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let you sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answers of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Irvins, and what happened to Tyler Smith. 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July, 2026, who all were unalived in very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much, Elmore. At this time, before we get to your questions, you're going to hear briefly from Attorney Eric Hertz and then Attorney Lisa Park with some updates, and then you'll hear from Nolan Wells' parents. Attorney Eric Hertz, a great civil rights lawyer.
Yeah. Thank you for showing up. I have some brief updates on the Nolan Wells case. We have been working with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back evidence, and that's something that we will see. The phones, not just our clients' phones, but the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts. And I believe, if I'm not speaking out of turn, the FBI is going to also be present there. And that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, and would like to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable, and justice will prevail.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this effort for Nolan Wells.
So today I just want to recognize all of these families for coming here today, traveling here to Nashville, even family that's here in the audience. If you think for just a moment, for these tragedies, they really just happened. They really just happened. And if you've ever had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. No. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be.
Amen.
For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together.
Yes.
We are stronger together. And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases. But there's hope. And I see that hope because we do get calls.
Yes.
We have been getting over 100 calls a day.
Wow.
And I want to thank everybody who's called in, because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight, when somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that.
Amen.
Because we know that we're stronger together. These questions, these cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right? But I also, last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it. And you just have to be brave. And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need you. We need you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you so much. Thank you, Attorney Park. And as Nolan's mother and father get ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light, and we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast aspersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like we said, if that implicates you or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you could understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July. How people came, within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just go on. How do you tell somebody just go on when my son is dead and nobody's giving us any answers? All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody know nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth, and it's starting to come to light, because truth is light, and we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Elmore and Christine. We're going to get to the truth.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been, he was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm faced with a new challenge every morning, waking up. trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got a lot of stuff going, but what I really want to say is, and like my wife said, if you know something, and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who said that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent want that. And also, the disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy at? We, as Americans, this is a diverse country.
Yep. Yep.
Not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them the information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out, and not just us, but all these families. All these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward, because losing a child is something that you got to live with for the rest of your life. Thank you.
Thank you. And President Mariel, I would just say the attacks, Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. Can you all imagine anything worse than that? That is a shame before God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you.
We got it.
Okay.
I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me, by the way, there are 2 other similar cases. I said, 2 other similar cases? I said, Ben, can you bring all of the families to Nashville? Because the thousands of urban leaguers who are here are interested in, have a solidarity with, want to hear directly, not through filters, about the circumstances of these cases. And that is what the National Urban League Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing, cutting-edge issues that face the nation and face Black America.
Amen.
So we are here because this is what we do.
Yes.
Whether it was Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice. We deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I want to say this, we trust Ben Crump.
Yes.
And we know that he does not engage in chasing false cases.
Amen.
That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families.
Yes, sir.
All too often,
Yes, sir.
when black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't find lawyers
Yeah.
with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here in Nashville. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post.
Come here. Come here. Christine. Yep, we know about the question. We were ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation, it's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. It's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on. We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Another question? We can't hear you. Okay.
Let me respond to that.
That's such
That accusation doesn't deserve a response.
right.
It has no dignity
Right.
associated
Right.
with someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time arguing with donkeys. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have 3 dead black young men
And we want the truth.
under suspicious circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate
Death
mail, hate this, hate that. No one. Our dignity in standing up. And you're a reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. And I'm not going to, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work. Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every Trump lawyer, every insurance defense lawyer. And I really want everyone to understand, let's not be distracted.
Amen.
Right.
Won't be distracted.
Let's not give oxygen. Let's not give air to haters and distractors and dissuaders. So thank you for your question.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What's your question?
Question.
We celebrate all.
So let me say this. I'm going to say this. I will not ever surrender the fact that I am an American. However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I note it as an important day. And I'm not going to fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag.
That's right.
And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right, our birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country.
Amen. Amen.
Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us. But what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice.
Yeah.
A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we got to understand that we're not going to get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity.
Amen.
The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents.
Yeah.
This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable. So when we stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we are doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission.
Yes, sir.
And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends.
That's right.
We have no permanent enemies. We only have permanent interests.
Amen.
So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before I move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as W.B. Du Bois said, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the tolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestry. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July and their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July and their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July and important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more.
CNN and Our Woman TV, and then that's going to be
Okay,
it.
go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I'll have Sean speak briefly to Daniel Irvin, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to Daniel Irvin in case Sean and his team and their mother been fighting and not making progress, but we're going to get the answers. Sean?
We have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the District Attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case, we want to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan Young, she said that there was a witness after the drowning that said, Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she's saying, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Why that's going to cause you to limp?
Yes, that is true, and there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives, and they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit.
No.
It's all right. It's all right.
The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that, and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
I would just respond to this here on Ryan's case. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney DeRay and I, but she does not believe her son unforced went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that, and she has a right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last one.
Let's go here and then Kathleen.
Okay.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces with people that do not look like you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
Kathleen, last question. You want to go first? Or you want me to go? That's why they have to call us to get in.
I mean, this is so tragic that this is why Ben Crump is so important. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel. They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important.
Yes.
They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, and there are many, many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at the Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time, and what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people, and that is really, really important, the case. I want to confront the question you asked about race. Something in this country, whenever a black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign of playing the race card?
Assassination of character.
I have seen this movie for many, many, many years, and we are going to call it out because we are not going to be dissuaded, distracted, or intimidated for standing up for members of our community. Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles. It's just a lot of rhetoric, it's nasty, and it's hateful. But you know what I found? For every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people
Yes.
who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out, they may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity, and we have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room.
Amen.
Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities, our Women of Power Luncheon. Let's thank Ben Crump. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage, for their courage, for their courage. And I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is adjourned.
Thank you, Mark Mariel and the National Urban League.